welcome back to Figured Out by 25, a conversation about letting go of unmet expectations and accepting what is. I'm Erin.
And I'm Jasmine. Welcome.
And we're so glad that you're back with us for another episode.
Woo!
So what are we talking about today, Jazz?
We're talking about friendships.
Yeah, we are talking about
More specifically, adult friendships.
adult friendships, because that can be hard, right? Yeah, so that's what today's focus is going to be about, is adult friendships. So I kind of want to talk about the obvious, about how easy it is to make friends when you're younger. And so I think I kind of want to focus on that first, and then we talk about that a little bit, and then we can go into making adult friendships and why it's so different.
Okay.
So talk to me about how it was for you as a student or as a kid when it comes to making friendships.
I think I don't really remember much of those phases of my life, but I really just, you found a commonality and you ran with it and you guys were friends.
That's pretty easy.
Now, my best friend, we've been friends since we were in the 6th grade, since we were 12 years old. And honestly, I can't even remember how we became friends. It was just, I don't even know how to explain it, because we weren't even in the same class. Like, we wouldn't see each other until we had like gym or something together.
Gym. PE.
Yeah, PE. So like, I saw her, she saw me, we had a conversation and we became friends, and our friendship has lasted all throughout middle school.
Friendship, yeah.
Yeah, because we went to 6th grade, and 6th grade was in an elementary school at that time. So we lasted going to separate middle schools, graduating high school together. She left for college. I stayed close to home, and she still lives in that town where she went to college. So it was magical, but I think as an adult, I have to work a little bit harder now than when I did as a child.
Right.
I think one of the magical things is that we were in a room for 8 hours with those people.
Right.
And so that became what bonded us together.
Right. Some of them you have no choice. You're either going to be friends or you're going to be enemies. That's
Exactly.
for 8 hours
Exactly.
together.
Yeah. How did your friendships come about?
As you were talking, I was thinking about mine and just how it changed from like elementary, middle, high school, those times, to college and now. So as a kid, I had friends, and like, I don't think I made friends fast, but I did have friends. And I, for a while, did have like certain friends that I was close to for a long time. Like, I had one best friend from like, I think we were friends because I ended up transferring schools, I think my 2nd grade year, and I think me and her may have either became friends 2nd grade or 3rd grade, and we were friends up until even like, high school, even though I moved to like a different city and part of Texas. But, we were friends from distance, but we were friends for a long time and did a lot of stuff together as I was in East Texas. But I also had some really hard friendships. So as I got a little bit older, specifically middle school, you see how mean girls can be in middle school. And I had a clique at the time, and I was like, yes, these are my friends. And like, we do this together, and like, we sleepovers and stuff like that. And then this one girl came, I think she had like transferred to our school or moved to the city, and all of a sudden they just started hanging out with her and excluded me. And I'm like, what did I do? Now everybody is my ops. That's an inside joke, but now I'm the op to everybody. So I'm just like, I didn't even do anything wrong. I would have been cool with the girl, but she didn't want to hang out with me. And all my other friends were like, well, we like her more, so we're going to go over here. And so I think from there, it kind of made it difficult for me to make friends, because I just think then on, I started thinking about how I guess people just don't like me sometimes, and I don't know what I do wrong. And so I always had that question in high school, and I, again, still made friends with people that liked talking to me and saw that I was like comfortable to talk to and wouldn't judge them. But some stuff just didn't click. I met another best friend my sophomore year in high school, and we were best friends until I got married. And our our friendship ended very, I guess, abruptly, and still don't know what I did wrong, even though she listed all these things that were my fault. Still, again, I didn't know, like, why is everything being put on me? So that happened twice to me, one in middle school and one post college. My friendships from like childhood to now as an adult are vastly different. I have so many more friends from college and work that have just stuck with me through the years versus the ones that I made in elementary school. So I don't have we've been friends since 6th grade or we've been friends since kindergarten. Like, I don't have that story. And I think I wanted that story, but it didn't happen for me. So it's different.
But it also sounds like you had quite a few friends. So you had 5+ friends.
Right.
I just had the one. And
I did have more, yeah.
And if we locked in, ain't no switching up.
I was trying to remember what the second part of that phrase was.
If we locked in, ain't no switching up. So with me, I had a different experience than you because for me as an only child, I feel like sometimes my friends become my siblings, if that makes sense. Like, it's a deeper connection than just us being friends. So you've had multiple best friends.
Right.
I done had the one because that's my sister.
Yeah.
And you're not getting rid of. We've gotten into one fight. And it is because I have a fear of going down escalators. And she put me on an escalator, and I was so mad at her. You know, we were 12 at the time. You know how that was fixed?
You know, that would have been funny if it was like y'all recently. I would have been like, whoa, new fear unlocked that I didn't know about you, and I didn't know to make you that angry at your big age.
No. I'm still afraid of going down
I
escalators.
don't like them either.
But we were 12 at the time, and I was so angry that she made me do that. And we were just sitting in the corners, and she was like, I don't know what I did. And I was like, I lost my best friend. You know how it was fixed? It was fixed by finding out there was an elevator in the play place we were at. So then I could just ride the elevator up and down, and she would ride it with
Never
me,
mind,
and we
we're
were great.
besties again.
Yeah. But that was just a little side note. I thought that was a funny story about the one fight we have ever had.
But going off of that,
Yeah.
it was easier at that time
Yeah.
to kind of like, you know, fight and then make back up.
Right.
I think now that we're adults, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because we're a little bit more stubborn and stuck in our ways. And some of us don't want to apologize. And even if somebody does apologize, it's like, I don't know if I would forgive you to keep you here, because if you toxic, you can't be over here. And it's just, we don't give people chances like we did when we were kids.
I agree to that. I agree to it at a certain extent.
Okay.
I think for me and my friends, because I have a friend, we met in college, and we've been friends since we met in college in our freshman year, and we had a fight. It was over a cat. It was over a cat.
Okay.
Our cats sat, and it didn't work out, and I was calling him. I said, come get this cat, please. Then he came and got it and was acting like it was no big deal, that the cat terrorized me for 2 nights. So we didn't talk for a while, but it came to a point where both of us missed each other. Like, we missed our friendship, and we missed what it is that we brought to each other's lives. Because even though we've only known each other since we were 18, and I think we were 24, 25 at the time that this happened, it feels like a short time. Even though, you know, we'd only known each other for those years, our relationship was so deep, and our friendship was so deep. We were like, all right, let's put our pride aside and call each other.
It is pride. Yeah. I don't think you have that much pride when you're a kid.
True. I mean, I got mad at her about an escalator. I didn't have much. I was 12.
Yeah.
But I think for me, because my circle is so small and I'm so deeply rooted in said relationships, it's really hard for me, or in the person that is also equally invested in the relationship, it's hard for us to just be like, this it.
Yeah.
We walking away from it just because we had a squabble, a fight, a disagreement. And he and I have had multiple disagreements. He hated my college boyfriend. He was like, you're dumb, but I love you.
Wow.
It
That's
was
a true friend, though.
hard truth.
To tell you that, hey, you ain't making the right choices right now, but I'ma stick beside them. Copyright infringement.
And that's essentially kind of how all my friendships operate. And I think that's why we've been able to sustain as long as we have
Yeah.
been. So I've always thought that friendships is not about that quantity, how many you have, but it's about who it is that you're building with.
I think for me, I have a lot. I've been told that, Aaron, you got a lot of like random one-off friends, and I'm like, I don't know how people just stick with me, and I like them, they like me, and it just is what it is. I have friends that live all over. I have friends who were friends with me and other people, and then they may not talk to the other people anymore, but they still talk to me. And so, like, I've had my best friend, she's like, how is so and such, so and so still talking to you? They never talk to me. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think sometimes I'm the glue in some relationships too. So if I'm friends with a lot of people, I remember, like, this is kind of going to be a sidebar, but like one thing I know I won't do in friendships is a friendship of 3. So I can never be like me and like 2 other girls, because you said why?
Yeah, why?
Because there's always going to be 2 people that are closer to each other than the other. Like, it just always happens. So like I remember in college, when I met my best friend, she was already friends with another girl. And so she met me, like, clung to me and was like, okay, all the 3 of us are going to be friends. And I knew it was a bad idea when she said it, because I was like, okay, so you and her are already close. You're clinging to me. She don't cling to me like that. So it's about to be a problem. And I kid you not, I think by the end of that year, they were no longer friends. And then now me and her have been best friends since. I don't think 3 works out. I think it works for some people, but I think it's hard. Like, what is the saying? Like, 2's company, 3's a crowd. Like, I just think that it's true for some people. And I think I've seen it in my own life.
I don't know. So when my best friend and I met in 6th grade, we did have a 3rd person. And so we were all friends. We actually all went to high school together, graduated from high school. My best friend and I, we're closer than the 3 of us are, but the 3 of us still talk. I think it really boils down to, well, not all the way boils down to, but part of it is kind of your thought process. Because I knew a girl in middle school who also came to I brought everybody to high school with me, who also came to high school, and she met my best friend. And they became very close because they did step team together. They did debate together. And so it would be definitely easy for me to feel like I was being pushed out or it's not going to work. But I looked at it more of, my best friend is allowed to have friends outside of me. They have different interests and different loves. I'm more of a cautious person, and the other girl is more adventurous. So when my best friend wants to have that adventurous side, yeah, girl, go hang out with her. When you want to sit in the house and eat popcorn and watch TV and play with the baby, come see me.
Yeah, but I think like you're different than other girls. Like, I think I've seen that in knowing you, that you're different. We've told you before, you have really good boundaries. And so I think you have an attitude of like, it is what it is. It ain't no big deal to me. But I think some girls can be jealous. And I think that some girls can be like, well, no, we're friends. We do this stuff together. Who is this other chick? Like, so I think that's why sometimes, and maybe it's just in my friendships, I don't know, that 3 don't work. Either because I get jealous, somebody else gets jealous. I don't know.
I think it's important for you to focus on that idea that you and girlfriend A have your thing that you do together, and then you and girlfriend B have your thing that you do together, and then all 3 of y'all go to the spa together and it's all good.
But I think when it's like, maybe if girl A and girl B have a connection, and then girl B and girl C have a connection, but girl A and girl C don't have a connection, that's when 3 is hard.
Well, then y'all not all friends. You just have a friend in common.
I mean,
Aaron.
I
And
mean,
this is another thing I wanted to bring up. Your definition, you use friend with everybody. I don't. We have levels over here in my
I mean,
camp. You are an acquaintance, you are a work acquaintance or a regular acquaintance.
you just have so many walls up. That's just what it is. She got a lot of walls up. You gotta break them walls down to get to Jazz, okay?
But I think it's important to have, I don't think they
get
have
it,
to be
yeah.
strong.
I get it.
But I think it's important to have some walls so that you don't end up in those situations where you feel like, dang, man.
Well, I think I mean, like if I talk to somebody at work on like a daily basis, like if it's, especially if it's been like a long time that I've been there, you become a work friend versus a work acquaintance. But somebody that's been talking to you for a long time that you talk to on a regular basis, you will say, oh, they're a work acquaintance.
Yeah.
Like you just keep it that way. I'm like, if the length of time has passed like 5 to 6 months, they're a work friend. You're just like, nah, it's a work acquaintance.
But that doesn't mean I don't leave the door open where they could be more, but that's when communication and a conversation has to happen.
So it has to be DTR.
I don't know what that means.
Define the relationship. Like you had the conversation with me. Like it was funny because Chad
Yeah,
had to ask.
my husband was like, oh, you talking to your friend Aaron? And I was like, well, I'm talking to Aaron, but I don't know if we're friends yet because we haven't had that conversation and really DTR'd.
And so he called me. He's like, Aaron, do you consider Jasmine as a friend? And low key, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was like, am I ready to DTR? Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm being put on the spot, but it's funny because it's like, as adults, it's really like a relationship. Like, it's like, okay, if I say you're my friend, then like, we gotta hold it to it. Like we just do. So I was like, I don't even know if I'm ready. I think I just like calling this girl and knowing that she's there and like, yes, like I like her. She's cool. Like we click, like it was natural. But am I ready to say like, oh yeah, that's my friend? Like, but I was like, no, she's my friend.
All right, then that works.
Yeah.
But if you would have said no, I would have been like, cool, we not there.
But then it's like, how can I say she ain't my friend yet, but I literally called you every day? Like that's not okay if you're not my friend.
It is what it is.
We agree to disagree.
We are going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And I knew that's where we were going to happen when it came to this topic because
we knew it was going to be a fight.
Because your definition of friends and my definition of friends is vastly different. And when you look at how I talked about how deeply rooted I am in the relationships of what I consider my friends and my close friends.
So going back to our conversation and when we had to DTR, you allowed me to talk to you every day. And so if like you were okay with allowing me to talk to you every day without calling me your friend. Interesting. I'd be like, girl, if you're on my phone every day, what is we doing? Like, I'm just for real. Like,
Because you know me, Aaron, I like to allow people the space that they need to figure out what they need. I like to meet people where they are. That's why you say I'm so good with reentry programs. I need to work in reentry programs because I want to meet you where you are. And if you're not ready to be like, yeah, this is my friend Jasmine.
I just feel like it would have been horrible to not only tell you and your husband, hey, I don't know if we friends because I'm literally on your phone every day. Like, I just feel like that's just rude and disrespectful. Then I would have felt like I was using you for something. Like, using you for conversation or using you for support because I didn't have any support or I felt like I didn't have any support, but then to not to call you friend.
There you go, overthinking again.
No, that's just literally how I feel about it.
I thought none of that.
I'm like, I don't want her to feel like I'm using her.
I did not think that at all. If you would have said no, I would have been okay. I'd have been like, see, that's where we are.
I would have been like, then why are you on my phone every day? Like, I just would have been like, what is this? Like, DTR, for real. What are we doing? Are we official or we not?
Well, the moral, at the end of the day, you said yes, and we're here with microphones and headphones. So,
but yeah, I think that friendship for me personally, it's the connection, and I think it's also the length of time. So, like, I've had some friends that I've called friend or called work friend that I did not, that I don't talk to anymore, like from work, and we're no longer friends because if I ain't heard from you like 6 months to a year, or maybe like 3 or 4 years have passed by, that I don't think we're friends anymore because nobody is pursuing this relationship anymore. But I think when you seek a person and you connect and you spend a lot of time with that person, then you eventually become a friend. So that's how I kind of am with it. I'm like, if I've spent a lot of time with you, I've connected with you, and it's been past a certain length of time, we're friends.
Okay.
That's just me. I think it is still levels to it for me. It just has to be quality relationship and then quantity. Like, how long has it been? Like, and then, like I said, that's when you get the definition of friend to me. Okay. But I am still specific on best friends. So I don't call a lot of people best friends because I think with losing my best friend and losing y'all, she didn't die. We just ended
Define
the
it.
friendship.
There we go.
Define
Define it.
because I'm like, they're like, oh my gosh, she's dead. Like, did you kill her? Like, no.
That's a different podcast, y'all.
But we decided to part ways once I got married. When that happened, I didn't want to call anybody best friend after that. And I had her, she was my best friend. And I had 2 other best friends that I made during that time. And so after me and her cut ties, I was like, I'm not calling anybody else my best friend. And that's hard because there's people that I do want to call best friend. But I think it's just trusting again after so many years. It's been almost 8 years because it's around DJ and I's anniversary that we ended our friendship. So yeah, I think it's hard to get to that level of like best friend because I think that comes with great responsibility and great trust and just letting a piece of my heart go in somebody else's life. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said about best friends.
I know you agree with me on the best friend, but
hard
because you
truth.
said you got too many best friends.
Yes.
I literally only have 2. And you're like, that's one more than I have and one too many.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because you think about giving a piece of your heart to them. And all of that. You have 2 people?
Yeah.
I feel like best friend is uno. And that's it. But we're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to disagree on this because we could spend all day debating on these microphones about best friends, friends. One of the things that I want to talk about is, you know, how do you go about making those adult friendships? I know you have the friends you take along with you from childhood, high school, college, into this adulthood. But what about the individuals that you meet when you in your big age, as you say?
For me personally, I think that at my big age, a lot of the friendships have happened naturally. I don't think I go into pursuing a relationship with someone. I think I just try to be there for people. And I think from that, a connection happens. So we may not be friends, but you may see me as somebody that you trust, right? So we may not be besties or we may not do a lot of stuff with each other, like hang out, but we may go for coffee. You may call me and need to vent. And I think that kind of, in a way, creates community. So I think that may be a little bit different from friendship. But I think if I have a friend, I think it just happens naturally. I think it's with the time, the quality of the relationship, whatever natural things just happen, I kind of just follow along with it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to somebody and say, hey, be my best friend, or hey, we should be friends. I think I just kind of talk to someone. I'll meet them, whether it's at work or at church or in another setting. If we click, and we'll see where it goes from there. And then as we talk more and as we do life more, and then naturally flows, and I'm like, okay, we may be friends. That's pretty much what I kind of see. Like, it's not that hard for me personally. And I think because I have so many people, I'm not looking for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm looking for it either, but I think for me, I kind of revert back to when we were talking about we were younger and you would find a commonality. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'm in an exercise class and I might be complaining like, oh, this hard. Mm-hmm. The other person is like, yeah, girl, this hard too. we've connected on something,
Yeah.
and then we further explore that. I find the most difficult thing, because my husband and I, we met a couple and we enjoyed hanging out with them, but the hardest thing is keeping up with them and keeping in contact and regularly scheduling and regularly checking in with them.
I would say that is a hard part of keeping friendships as an adult.
Yeah, because we don't have those 8 hours. Oh, I'm gonna see you tomorrow, Timmy. We don't
Timmy.
have the. You talked about Tyrone another episode, and now you talk about Timmy. You know what?
Timmy is random. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
stop giving stock names for my examples, whatever. But I find that that's hard. But I think that's really great to be able to not look for it, but also be open to it as well. I think that's two great takeaways to come from that. Let it happen naturally that way.
So what would you say to someone who is really trying to find a friend, but things aren't happening naturally? They try to go out and meet people, they just don't click, and they are really trying, but it's just they're not able to find friends at this adult age. What would you say to them?
Yeah, my first thought was maybe change your venue. Maybe you're not clicking with the people that are in the spaces you're being a part of. Maybe that's not your gang. But if you do find that, okay, well, no, I have these good conversations, they just don't develop into anything else. Maybe you need to do some more. I don't want to say it's, I'm not trying to say it's your fault. You're the reason why you don't have friends.
You're the problem.
But sometimes it takes a little more inner work to be able to outwardly reach and make those connections. So maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and think about what it is that you need in your life a little bit more, and then utilize that as a roadmap to go and reach out to those others.
Do you think COVID has had an effect on people's social life and being able to make friends?
Oh, 1000%. That couple I just mentioned to you, they met in a grocery store right before COVID hit, and then they decided to quarantine together. You don't hear very many of those stories. Why? Because groceries come to your house. So you're not getting a lot of those stories anymore. So I think socially, we need to rebuild in-person social connection and social activity,
agree.
and stop having these virtual meetups. I think if we can do away with that, that might help a lot more as well.
And I think just embracing the fact that it's okay to be awkward. I think that, like, we were somewhere, me and my husband, I think a few days ago, or was I with you? I don't know who I was with.
You were
now
with
that I'm
a
thinking about it.
human.
I was
You were
with
with
some
another
human, and I told somebody something because they were doing something for us, and me and the person were kind of awkward, and I was like, "We're just awkward. Sorry, like we're just being awkward." Like, that it's okay. Like, I think sometimes we think we got to have a script when it comes to like socializing with somebody. And I've seen some TikToks of like, let me practice social interaction so I can make sure that I'm saying these key things and I'm not weird. But I think really COVID has really, change the way we do life as people, and it's an adjustment that we have to make. But because we were shut down, because there's so many virtual options and there's not a lot of time we're socializing with people outside of work or maybe church, we just don't do a good job anymore as humans engaging each other. So
Yeah.
we do have to work on that.
So key takeaway here, guys, keep your friends with you as long as they're good
Right.
friends.
If you can.
If you can, it's okay if a friendship has run its course. I try to tell this one that all the time. Friendships aren't always meant to be forever. It is hard. I didn't say it was easy. I just said they're not always meant to be forever. It's important for you to have these relationships and continue to try and put yourself out there, and it's okay to be awkward. I had a professor say, sometimes you have to be a fat penguin and break the ice.
Where is that professor now? Because I just have questions. Okay. But yeah, I think also to end on this note, then I want to share the importance of community. I couldn't find the scripture, but I do want to stress the importance of having others walking alongside of you, building you up, holding you accountable, being good company around you, comforting you, and just just having that community and how it builds you up and it makes you better. So I think key takeaways along with what she said, just the importance of community. It's needed. It's valuable. Like we encourage, find the right people and have that community. So again, like we will probably say a lot in this podcast, you're not going through things alone because we don't want that for you. We want you to have people. We want you to have friends. We want you to have loved ones that are surrounding you, encouraging you, praying over you, covering you, loving on you, and helping you become a better version of yourself as the years go on. So definitely want to encourage pursuing community, pursuing people that love you, that you can love on and walk with. That's what we have here. And we just want to send that out to you as well to have that for yourself so you can be able to thrive and feel loved and be loved and give love and grow. So that's it for this episode. And we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.